Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is This Morning on ITV. You can call it TMI and you will be right on point. Well, it's a season of conjunctivitis, aka Apollo. That is the reason why some of my guests couldn't make it to the studio today. You would have seen them sharing their thoughts and opinion, but they have to take care of their eyes, so please take care of your eyes. Clean your hands, wash it so well, take your antibiotics, shade your eyes and all that, so you will not be caught napping. Man, it's painful, quite painful. Anyway, I still have the same set of guests with me here in the studio, Farais and Destiny. They'll be throwing light on what many Nigerians are beginning to talk about. Some are saying it in form of concern, in form of worry, while others are saying it's our turn. In Milocom, after all, President Muhammadu Buhari did it heavily in force, so if we should do it right now, come on, it's our turn. The place of the Federal Character Commission in appointments, taking a look at the appointment made so far by beloved President BOLA Ahmed TINUBU. Destiny, I want to start off with you. What do you feel about the appointments made so far by Mr. President?
Personally, this tribal settlement, when I say tribal, when you are tribal consciousness, you understand, it will not help. So trying to make an appointment, probably giving, bringing tribes into it or being tribal about it, it will cost problem. It won't help a nation grow. It will do more harm to the nation. So I don't think the issue of the appointment, if you want to give an appointment, it should be it should be a meritocracy. Like you merit it, you are worth it, the ability for you to carry out the appointment or the office that you are being given, the job is being done well and all that, not on the basics of tribalism and all that.
All right. For as you heard him, he said tribe, considering tribe may just be another aspect of the nation downfall, so to speak, economically, sectorially, you just name it. Do you feel that Mr. President is being tribalistic in his appointment?
Yes, I think he is, but but I also think that the caliber of people he has appointed, they are nothing to write home about.
How do you mean nothing to write home about?
There are people
These are seasoned people. They know what they're doing. They know their onion.
Hold on, Sam. Don't be so much in a hurry. Let me take you back to 1999. We were alive then in 1999. We saw the caliber of people President Obasanjo brought into government then. It wasn't about who was Yoruba or who was Igbo or who was this. He brought in people that could impact the country. That was when we saw the likes of Okonjo-Iweala, we saw the likes of Frank Weke Jr., and we saw the likes of Charles Soludo. And Nigeria, that was a country that was going down, started to rise. Between 1999 and 2007, we've been able to raise our foreign reserve to over $40 billion between 1999 and 2010. So, not only have we raised our SS crude account, we raised our savings, and then we paid up our debts, national debt. And these were policies that were driven by Okonjo-Iweala.
We paid up our debt, or the debt was cancelled.
Whatever it is, they wrote off, they asked us to pay some part, and they wrote off the other one.
Okay.
So that's all of it that we paid off. They were a debt-free nation as at that time. We're a debt-free nation. And these were the ingenuity of people like the Okonjos that were brought in by General Obasanjo then. So, look at the people he appointed then. There was a national image in the government. You had a national image in the government. Very national image. But what do you see today? When Buhari came, he introduced this system of appointing only people who are only from his ethnic group.
But other appointments were made. Don't forget.
Yes, or giving the major appointments to people who are from his ethnic group, or what we call the juicy appointments, like they call it. And all of these are fueled by corruption, nothing else. What you call juicy appointments are only fueled, just like pipelines of corruption. When you say, I'm reserving the Minister of Petroleum position, Minister of Finance position for somebody who's from my ethnic group, it's just a pipeline for corruption. If you want a system that works, you should be looking for the best heads based on merits, not based on this person is from your tribe, or if it's from your village, or if it's from your place. Based on merit. And then you have a system that works for everybody. Because Nigeria is a country of over 150 million people. And it is not good that we just make appointments, particular appointments from only one region. We should want to spread it. That is why those who wrote our constitution were able to saw it. And they put in the constitution that we should have a federal character. It should reflect in our national lives. It should reflect in our government as well. But apart from that, I'm not seeing people in the government that President TINUBU has appointed that will give me hope.
That will give you, because what I'm saying that these are the people will give them hope.
I'm not seeing it. No, let me take you in. I'm not seeing it. Look at the people who are appointed in the federal cabinet. They're all politicians. I'm not saying politicians are bad people, but you should have a mix of politicians, technocrats, people who have the expertise to bring in changes, to be able to impact the system. I've not seen that. We're only seeing politicians who they either served, they worked for the president during his campaign, or they contributed to his campaigns and all of that. And that should be a yardstick to be appointed into the Federal Executive Council of Nigeria. That shouldn't be. So, if we continue in this trend, where everybody that becomes president appoints all the so-called juicy position, like you call it, from his own ethnic group, we are going to cause a disaster someday. Because the problem is that you won't have a government of national unity.
All right.
You won't have it. You won't have that government where people will feel a sense of belonging. Because they'll feel like, oh, this is the tribe A government or a tribe B government. And you see other people who don't want to give in their best because they feel like the government does not reflect them. But when you carry everybody along, you take from the Fulanis, you take from the Yorubas, you take from the Igbos, you take from this, and you take from even the minorities, and you fuse them together. You take all the best men, and you fuse them together, and create a government that works for Nigerians. And Nigerians will feel a better sense of belonging. And then you have peace in the country.
All right. Well, you heard them now. Does it not mean that this particular appointment, there's no place for federal characters? They're talking about picking from what you rightly said, various tribes to make up the government. After all, you have representatives from other tribes. So why the hula baloo? Why the cry that Mr. President is focusing more on the Southwest?
Yes, because, like he said, people are complaining because the so-called juicy position.
But don't oppose our position. What do you call this juicy position? Juicy position.
Corruption.
What are the word?
No, you cannot. All positions cannot be equal. You understand? That is where hierarchy comes in. You understand? There are some positions that are vital. Let me use the word the key positions. You understand?
Okay, key positions.
Vital positions.
Okay, the sweet positions.
Yes, are given to those, like he said, probably those that supported during campaigns and all that, which ought not to be so. It has to go round. Nigeria is for every one of us. So the process where some persons are treated more better than others, you see people who now kind of wouldn't want to give out their best.
All right.
You understand?
All right. You just hold on. I want to go for a break. When we return, we'll definitely continue with this discussion. Don't go away. This is TMI Sunday's edition. We'll be right back.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. We're now at almost the end of this edition of This Morning on ITV. I still have a political analyst, political affairs commentator, and of course, a vibrant entrepreneur, Destiny Asabo, because Perez just had to respond to a particular call. He needs to jet out of the studio, which he did. Well, you are still very much, you talked about tribalism, you talked about also sweet or juicy position. Even Perez opined also about putting square pegs in square holes. But this time around, we're talking about representation. We're talking about delivery. We're talking about capacity. Doesn't that mean that people from the Southwest don't have these qualities? Is that what you're saying right now?
No, I'm not saying people from the Southwest does not have the quality or the capacity to deliver the needful. But what I am saying is these positions ought to go round. It ought to be spread across
the 6 geopolitical zone?
Yes, you understand. So not just focusing on the South alone. There are other persons who can do even more better. So you have to bring everybody. The government is for everybody, not for a particular set of persons, you know. So everybody has to be involved. That is the only way you will see the desired results will come. Well, in the situation where you see tribalism is being evolved, it creates this kind of us versus them. You understand? So some persons feel not being carried along. This sense of belonging is not there and all that. So it now makes the government looks like it is government for some particular set of persons and not a government of everybody. And you and I know that democracy doesn't say so.
Okay. Now, during the time of Obasanjo, some opined that it wasn't this way. The Federal Character Commission do have a great role to play in this, especially that appointments were spread across board. In time of late Yaradua, it wasn't this way. The time of former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, at least Nigeria said, look, there was a fair representation of the Federal Character Commission in appointments. But some are saying the lopsidedness started from a president, so to speak, former President Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, and right now we are seeing the same thing being played out, if not checked right now in this administration led by BOLA Ahmed TINUBU. Is it a party thing or an individual thing?
It is not a party thing because it is not, I think it is an individual thing, you understand, because if you leave a position and probably I take over from you, I ought to change the narrative. I ought to come correct every errors. I ought to come kind of correct the loopholes. You understand? I ought to do things that the things that you didn't do or the errors I see that or where I notice you have failed or the things you didn't do well, I ought to come and make correction. That is changing the narrative, not coming to also take the same lead with you. You understand? Yeah. So that is why I say it is an individual thing. It is not a party issue. Party will not tell you this is how you run your government and all that.
But I thought party, they have manifestos.
Of course.
And it tells a lot also on the kind of presence you put in position in government.
Is that how the system ought to be? No.
All right. Now take a look at the appointment. CBN, Southwest. EFCC, Southwest. After the removal and, of course, detention of the former holders of that office, some are saying it's all about competence. As long as these persons are competent in handling that office, Nigerians shouldn't bother after it for the betterment of the country. What do you say about that?
When you talk about competence,
yes,
are there no competent people in other in these other 6
geopolitical zones?
Geopolitical zones? There are. You understand? So everything falls back to trying to please or pay back those who has kind of helped you or supported you during the course of you coming into government. You understand? So it is not something. What I would say is when you talk about competency, there are people who are even more competent than this set of persons that have been appointed. So it must not be a thing of the South alone. You have to sit down, look inward, because the same people who has played one or two political roles before are the same persons who are brought into powers or the appointment per se. So what happened to every other person out there? It is just more like a circle, just going round and round.
So you're saying it's all about compensation?
Exactly.
But why would you say that? You have some new kids in the block. For instance, in Gilela, talking about the presidential spokesman. He is not in the previous government. He's doing his job, and he's not from the Southwest. I mean, and you have other tribe also in various positions. Why are Nigerians crying over this? Come on.
The spokesman you are talking about, I don't think that is a key position. That is not a key position. As much as I'm concerned, that is not a key position. You can make anybody your spokesman. In as much as the person is somebody who is outspoken and all that. You understand? But other positions like that of the CBN and all that you're talking about, these are key positions that has to do with, if not managed well, it will go a long way to affect the country's economy. You understand? So that is why I said the key position or the juicy position, like we said before, are given out in form of compensation.
But some of the people know that if you take a look at the Southwest, Nigerians have that opinion, that notion that people from the Southwest, they are educationally inclined. They are technocrats. So what is wrong in it? You talked about competence. You talked about square peg in square hole, round pegs in round hole. So what have to say about it?
If you say the people from the South are more educated.
That's the notion we have in Nigeria,
Yes.
that from the Southwest, they are top-notch educationally speaking.
Now, the truth is, when it comes to education issue in Nigeria, the education standard and our education level here, you cannot, I can say it's almost nothing to write to me about. Like my brother rightly said before he left, that when you go to North, you see over 10 million children out there.
Out of school.
And this is something that has always reoccurred. You understand? You don't train a child. You don't put a child to a school. A child is not being trained, nor given the sound education that ought to be given. Then how do you expect to get what you want from that child when the time comes? You understand? So if you are saying, if the notion is there that the South people are more educated and all that, to me, if you go to the East, you also see, you will see people who are also educated. If you go to the North, you also find people, even this North that we are talking about, that over 10 million persons are there out of school and all that. There are also persons who are educated there. You understand? You cannot say everybody in the North, for instance, are not educated. There must be some persons who are bright, who are very educated, who are very sound. As a matter of fact, who are even more sound than these Southern people that we are saying, or that the notion is there that are educated. You understand? Just like the way you see people who are educated in the South, you also see people who are not educated. The way you see people who are not educated in the North, you also see people who are educated. So it's cut around the six political zones.
Or are you not saying that Mr. President should backtrack, retract some of this appointment, put some others for the sake of this federal character to reflect in all his appointment, or he should do it according to the people he trusts, people he can, like, you know, give out instructions to and they will obey?
My brother, the truth is, if it is not being done well, one, it will cause disunity. You will see there will not be peace. You understand? To cause disunity, to cause a kind of discrimination and inequality in the country. It will go a long way to also hinder the progress of the country. You understand? So it should not be based on the people he trusts or the people he feel can do it. But it should be based on merit. You understand? Yes, this person. You go. Everybody have history. You understand? Yeah. You have to go visit the history of this particular person, the competency. What has this person done before when he has to do with this particular line of position? You understand? Not like going to bring a farmer to come and work in a bank.
What if that so-called farmer who have a PhD in banking but no job and to go into farming? What will you say about that?
That is a different case entirely. You understand? Not like just going to bring a typical farmer to come work in the bank. You won't get the desired results that you want because he won't be able to function well. How is he going to manage the technologies and all that in the bank? It becomes difficult. So you will not get a fair representation if we go by this tribal sentiment.
Now, if you take a look at the appointments, people from the southeast are saying that they have the least positions. And that was what happened during the time of former President Muhammadu Buhari. I mean, what do you say about this?
That is, you see, we have come back to the issue of key positions. Or the juicy position that we are talking about. You know, these key positions ought to be spread around. The Easterners shouldn't be left aside. It ought to go around the 6 geopolitical zones. You know, just like that. Not taking the key positions to be probably one political zone and probably the least positions you are not giving it out to other just for justification's sake, so that the people won't feel that all positions were just being given to. No, it ought to go around. This sense of human, so that everybody will be carried along. Everybody will play their vital role. But in the process where some persons are being carried along or some persons are being carried more better than others, you will see that some persons will lose interest in doing what is needful. Some persons will lose interest in contributing their quotas to see how unity or how the economy will grow.
All right. So what advice do you have for the federal government led by BOLA, TINUBU, and of course those agitating that, look, you guys are not doing us well in this appointment because we are all Nigerians? Briefly before calling a wrap on this show.
The truth is we are all Nigerians. Yes. So sentiment should be totally put aside. We should all be treated as one Nigeria. So I don't see any reason why I will see, even the Bible says love your neighbor
as thyself. The self first.
You understand? So what I know is not good for me, I shouldn't push it to you. Yes. What I know I can't do to myself, or what I know is not a beneficiary to me, I shouldn't place you there. So all fingers should be, every one of us should be treated equally.
Thank you so much, Destiny Asaba, for your wonderful views and opinions. Well, this will draw curtains On today's edition of This Morning on ITV, don't forget the off-cycle election. 3 states, November 11, talked about that. Presidents of stakeholders are now talked about also the appointment of President TINUBU. If it has this touch of federal character commission, the impact of this commission. Some are saying it has long been jettisoned. Some are saying no, it ought not to be so. After all, we have 6 geopolitical zones. All these juicy positions, these sweet positions, these key positions should be spread across. But what do you think about this administration with respect to positions allotted to the 6th geopolitical zone? Is it lopsided? If it's lopsided, what do you think Mr. President should do to create this environment of oneness in Nigeria? Don't forget about attrition in various geopolitical zones because they felt that they've been neglected or jettisoned. If you bring these people into government, do you think their mentality would change? A question to answer. Once more, Destiny, thank you so much. Appreciate your coming. All right, folks, bye for now.